This is the NASA X-59, and it looks pretty weird. Let's see why. The NASA X-59 is, well, NASA's flagship supersonic aircraft. A project costing somewhere between $600 and $800 million. And for once, that money isn't going to a rocket or a space telescope. It's going into this. So why is the strange, needle-nosed jet making headlines everywhere? Because it might be the biggest step forward in supersonic flight since the invention of the Delta wing. And the reason is simple. The X-59 is designed to break the sound barrier without breaking eardrums, quite unlike the Concorde. Instead of a thunderous boom, it produces something close to a soft thump, about as loud as a vacuum cleaner, quiet enough that NASA thinks it could make supersonic flight legal over land again. And the secret to all this? Elephants. But seriously speaking, that absurdly long nose spreads out the shockwaves so the boom never builds up in one big explosion of sound. It's basically stretching out the sonic boom until it becomes too thin to be very loud. But that design comes with a hilarious problem. First of all, it's way too long, and second of all, the pilot can't even see anything at all. They skip the front window entirely. I mean, pretty bold move, just, assume this pilot is either blind or has built-in sixth sense. But, of course not, Instead of front window, the X-59 uses a 4K camera system that feeds a live view to the screen, where the windshield should be. It's the world's first supersonic plane, but you can fly like you're in a video game. So, let's break down how NASA and Lockheed Martin built a jet that looks like a mistake, but might change aviation forever. The point of the NASA X-59 is to tame the sonic boom. So let's look at how it does that and why its bizarre shape is key. This is a Schlieren image, basically a way to visualize shockwaves made by the sonic boom. Each dark line you see here is a shockwave created as the aircraft pushes through the air at high speed. The T-38 produces several thick and very dark shockwaves. Thick lines mean big pressure changes, and big pressure changes means a very loud sonic boom. Now compare that to the X-59. Its shockwaves are much thinner and lighter. The air is disturbed less, especially at the very front of the aircraft, where the sonic boom is loudest. So now I know what it does. But how does it do that? Yeah, it's just complicated, but I'll try and break it down. Understand how the X-59 creates a very quiet sonic boom. You have to understand what a sonic boom actually is. Most people imagine it one very large bang, but that's not really how it works. When an aircraft goes supersonic, every part of it, the nose, the canopy, the wings, the tail, creates its own shockwaves. These shockwaves normally merge together into one large pressure spike. That spike is what you hear as a sonic boom. X-59's entire design is built around stopping those shockwaves from merging. That ridiculously long nose is not just for show. It stretches out the shockwaves so they form one after another instead of piling up into a single explosion of pressure. Think of it like this: a normal supersonic jet hits the air like one sledgehammer in one big impact. The X-59 hits the air like a series of tiny taps spread out over the length of an aircraft. Each tap is weaker, and because they don't combine, the boom never fully forms. And that's why the Schlieren image looks so different. The T-38 is thick, dark shockwaves because everything is merging into one big pressure jump. The X-59 spreads those shockwaves out. Thinner waves, smaller pressure changes, quieter boom. So the shape isn't weird for the sake of being weird. Every curve, every angle, every flat surface is placed to control how air compresses around the aircraft. The entire plane is basically a machine for sculpting shockwaves. So that's why the X-59 works so well at managing the sonic boom. But why do we need it? Why spend several $100 million designing a quieter aircraft? Well, because supersonic flight is incredibly loud enough that most countries banned it over land decades ago. At 60,000 feet up, the Concorde's supersonic boom could still slam the ground with over 100 decibels. That kind of noise rattles windows and wakes up entire neighborhoods. Also, it'll make anyone with sensitive ears want to move to the woods. Think of it like this. Imagine sitting next to a massive concert speaker, or an ambulance that refuses to turn its siren on. That's what the Concorde sounded like from 11 miles away. That's why governments banned supersonic flight over land. The Concorde wasn't killed by an engineering problem, it was killed by noise regulations. But the X-59 changes that. Its sonic thump is close to the sound of a vacuum cleaner from the ground, quiet enough that NASA believes it could meet future noise standards for overload supersonic travel. The US has already taken the first step. If an aircraft is quiet enough on the ground, it can be approved for supersonic flight over land. The X-59 is a test case that could bring back fast travel without the chaos of the old sonic boom. If the X-59 succeeds, airlines could bring back supersonic routes, New York to LA in under 3 hours, without shaking the entire country awake. So, that's the X-59, a strange machine with a simple goal: make the sky quiet again. If you enjoyed this breakdown, feel free to subscribe. This is my first video, and I'd love to hear what I can improve. Thanks for watching, and until next time, goodbye.